Okay, time to do some grumpy old guy gaming. Let's log into the old .hack fragment here. Maybe see if anybody's on. Let's just run a dungeon. I really need to level up a bit. Um, I don't know. Let's head online. What the hell? Maybe there's something fun going on. Maybe I can continue my streak of running into events at the worst possible time and dying. That'd be awesome. Go ahead and wait for this to load, grab myself a sip of tea while slurping obnoxiously. Log in. Yes, I did call my online profile name Ultimate. Hope you caught that one. Loading up. Ultimate. Nice blue color. Heading it. Ooh. I have new mail. Wonder what that could be. Wonder if somebody wants to run a dungeon. Let's check it out. Checking mail. I have one new unread mail, which I already knew by the new indicator. But just because I have the memory of a goldfish, let's see if I received anything else new. Nope, no new mail arrived, so let's check out the new mail. Notice parental event. How did the game know I was a parent? Anon at Bamco. Greetings, it has come to our attention that through several inebriated cavortings at Twilight Tarot's New Year's event, that I've been qualified for my new baby hour? Enjoy my adventures in parenthood? Hey everybody, this is a grumpy old guy gaming here, and I gotta tell you, every day I come home and it seems like something new and random and wonderful has happened here in Fragment, and I just hopped on literally to do a little bit of online grinding, and I found that the Frank Bao's wife Nesta server, the level 69 server that mysteriously appeared and had players locked out for the past few days, was somehow open, and after coming in and doing a little running, I decided to call upon two of my favorite people to run dungeons with here in Fragment, Spooky and R.L. Stein, who are running their BB alts. So we've got 3 wavemasters going on, and I'm still about 65% of the mass of this party. It is hilarious to see them paired up with me, just tiny as their characters are, and then I made big giant wavemaster for no reason. But kind of snuck into this server. Totally don't know if we were allowed or supposed to be in here, and if you're running this server, 99% sure who's hosting this server. And I just want to throw a big thank you out there. 1 for making this, and 2 for the ability to check this out. Of course, I had to get it on film because this was just too cool not to check out. So I ran through and I got a little bit of solo footage. I'll have some of that on later here, but I wanted to get Spooky and Stein in on this so they could check it out themselves, as they've really been turning me on to so many random things that have been sort of going on in this whole Fragment community, in and about, and this was my little way of trying to pay them back for some of the cool things that they've been doing for me. Of course, just gonna go ahead and run some of the areas here. It's a really unique server in the sense that most of the areas are extremely high level, and then 2 of the boards are very low level. So we're going to be checking out one of these boards here in a second. Just sort of taking a moment, decided to take a screen cap to capture the event. I believe Stein suggested to call it babysitting, this video, which was a killer idea, and then my wife came up with a little riff off of it. She suggested calling it Adventures in Babysitting, and that's ultimately what I settled on for it. Both killer names, but I definitely, as it was sitting in my head through the course of putting the footage together, definitely liked Adventures in Babysitting. So at this point, I'm just figuring out what's going on. We're all in voice chat, and Spooky mentioned he put a pic of it up on the Discord, and I'm like, yeah, that would make a pretty good picture. And then I'm sitting there rotating around, and I never do think to zoom in and actually get a good angle for the screen cap. If you do want to see an awesome picture of this, it's on the Fragment Resurgence Discord. Just a great place to go in general for Fragment information, and the perfect place to start if you're looking to start playing Fragment. But I'm going to throw that quick aside in there as well. In the Pix link, there is an excellent close-up shot here. So we're going to be warping out here pretty soon here. We are going to the field Nesta Bow's Lizard, which sounds rather strange on several levels. But there are the keywords right there. I wouldn't lie to you. Adding into the strangeness, we are literally going to gate in on top of Spring of Mist. If you're wondering how to do this in-game, you really can't. The person who set this server up really knew what they were doing with, sort of editing things and getting into the game itself and allowing you to do things you wouldn't normally be able to do. And you're going to see quite a variety of unique things going on here. Going into the first room, there's a couple portals opening. Really, really simple to defeat monsters, just as low level as you get. Since Stein and Spooky are just starting to level up their alternates, they're getting a couple points here, and I'm just mainly hanging out. Once again, just enjoying the run, plus I've already been through here, and it would be greedy of me to take, any of the stuff that falls here at this point, because I've already been through it once. Sadly, I grabbed that spring without thinking about it when I first warped in. I was just sort of caught up in the moment, and in general, when a spring's available, I kind of usually want to go for it. At the very least, get a gold and silver axe out of it. So, dummy me sort of blocked their chance to get it on this particular run-through. I will be showing that spring. I think I'll save it for the end of this video, though. Nothing too crazy about it, but something unique, so it will be coming up here. And I'm not going to show you the entirety of my solo running, because a lot of it was just, boring wavemaster trots through level 2 fields. But I do want to highlight some of the more interesting things that happen, some of the neater things, because stuff like this, you're not going to see it every day. Unless you watch this video every day, in which case, thank you for the views. So we've got a moth and a swordmanoid here. The very vanilla of the vanilla, as low as you get on monsters without data draining, and I don't think we could data drain if we tried at this point. There's a trap chest there. A unique thing about this, the gear you're pulling out of this field is much higher than you would expect out of a level 2 field. I don't want to give away any particular spoilers in this video, but I will say this is probably the best paying level 2 field I've seen in Fragment thus far. There I was tempted for a second. It's like, oh, blue chest, and I pulled up the item thing and I'm like, what am I doing? Just sort of kicking around here. Now this is where it gets a little treacherous when we start getting into these rooms. I'll explain why when we finally get to the room that makes it so tricky, but actually we end up going an avenue that I never went. I just didn't notice it when I was running this field solo. So credit to Stein and Spooky for, yeah, now I'm just turning them into one single entity, sorry about that. Uh, Credit to Stein and Spooky for noticing this other route here. One of these days I've got to figure out how to capture the voice chat, because the commentary that was going on while we were playing is far better than just exhausted me babbling through here. I do apologize. Heading up further this way, and as you can see, that room we were just in does not appear on that map whatsoever. We've hit a couple of these along the way. Just completely invisible rooms that we've passed through. So there's some pretty interesting hacking going on here to set up this field, I would say. Just sort of milling about. And in general, I do love these forest fields. One, because you could usually navigate them without having to worry too much about a fairy's orb. And two, because they're so cool. They're different from every other field you'll see in the game. They're set up in rooms like a dungeon. And there's some really unique furniture. Though it is sort of weird that you get that sort of Star Trek whoosh when the cobwebs blocking, the giant spider webs blocking the doors go away. Heading through here to another invisible room. Way off the grid at this point, 2 rooms out of the map, as it were. But not much to see there, so we're going to wind our way back. And then we're going to go down because it's the available direction we haven't checked yet. Saw that giant skull flower in the corner there. And we'll wander down out of this room. Just sort of checking things out as we go. Now, I didn't really think about it, and it was silly on my part because I had actually warned about it heading in. But we've sort of reached an impasse in our adventure. This room is kind of a soft lock on this field. There's not really anything you could do once you hit it. None of the exits are operable once you're in the room. All you could do is sort of shrug your shoulders and gate out. Again, I was fortunate. I had actually done 2 solo runs and I stocked up on a lot of the gear that was dropping. I kind of felt bad that we hit that point, but here's some of the solo run that I'd picked up from earlier. Here I was coming into the server in the first place, and I gotta tell you, I just clicked it out of morbid curiosity. Everybody was getting an error message anytime they tried to get in. I think Dow at one point had mentioned they were sort of forced out. So it was one of the mysterious things going on, along with the identity of a particular crispy glutes and some other things that I hope to dive into here in just some random uploads in the not too distant future. Because fragment videos are just a ton of fun to do. This is easily becoming my favorite game of all time because of random things like this. And because you guys seem to enjoy them. So let's just keep pumping them out there, keep having a good time together. Here I'm just sort of going through the words. I feel really bad if the Nesta Bow in this is actually based on anyone, because there's a lot of, keyword C's there. It's very descriptive on several disturbing levels. Here we are in Nesta Bow's map. Again, I suppose we should have asked before. But courtesy be damned, we're adventuring. Go ahead, open up the chest, and aptly so, we acquire the Fool. Which is also the part I'll be playing in this solo run. Moving through here to the next room. Pick up another Fool, and you've got a skull flower there, and I decide to head north. Well, up. I guess to the side the way the map is looking. I'm sorry, I'm just not directionally inclined at all at this point. So we get a couple of really empty rooms, and then this happens. I'm not even gonna try, but I can tell you right now from some other games I've played and wound up on, we are completely out of bounds looking at a room from the outside in. As you can see, we're going to cross where the gate for the doorway is and find ourselves in a dummy room that we can't really enter. And then we're going to walk back, and it looks like the door out is somewhere in that blue floor there, but sort of a neat area there. You can see the sort of faded out colors and all of the background things from an area just out of bounds of where you typically play the game. Kind of a neat look that you won't get every day in Fragment unless you're able to run this board. And there we are. We're a star. We made it to the dungeon screen. Yet another chest there for us. As you can see, that out of bounds room doesn't even register on the map. So that was kind of a clue to me who might be hosting this server at this point. Again, I don't want to give too much away, and I'm certainly not saying I 100% know the identity, but I'm 99% certain. At the time, I believe Zachmon was still on talking with us, so it was me, Spooky, Stein, and Zachmon in voice chat, and we were all pretty much at a consensus sort of idea who's behind this server here, and again, can't be thankful enough to them for making this, and the little bit of mystery set up for this leading to this reveal. And I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it for anyone, that's certainly not my goal, but hopefully you see this and it encourages you to go out and explore some of these things in this game. Start looking around for things out of the norm. Take the chance in game at some of these different servers, some of the different custom words. You never know what you're going to run into. Maybe even an empty statue room. Which in itself is kind of cool because, again, that's where a third of all dialogue in .hack sign seems to happen, in statue rooms without the chest opening. So that in itself was kind of neat. And now we've just gone on footage of me being too cheap to actually use a Sprite Ocarina. Also afraid that I might get locked if I used a Sprite Ocarina because I'm still very much in what the heck is happening mode. So we're probably just going to take a little, magic of television shortcut here as I exit this room and find ourselves back in town. No, I waited till I was a star again. My mistake, I'm gonna gate out from there, but I did skip a couple rooms. Is it sad that I edited that cut and I forgot where it took me? So there you saw the server name again. I love the smell of Frank Bao's wife, Nesta. Just that in itself is so silly and weird that I can't get over it. Here, as I promised, we're going to wrap up. There's about a minute and a half in what I captured left. And we're coming back into Nesta Bao's lizard map, popping up on the Spring of Mist. And again, because of the luck I've had at times, I didn't want to stand dead middle, but I also didn't want to leave the spring before triggering the spring. Now, here I'm way overthinking things because this is a level 2 field. It's at the most going to pop out a level 1 Grandpa or a Monsieur. There's no way it's going to be able to do anything with any of the equipment I've got on extra to chuck in here. But like a putz, I'm sitting there like, do I want to increase the Inferno Wand? Maybe I could decrease this Flare Guard. So I think I eventually settle on a Fire Drake Mail and chuck that in. But what I want you to notice is just how close this angle is. The Grandpa's face is literally going to be cut off, and you could see his sort of like light aura emanating out and just completely peppering us with that warm sort of glow. Really, really neat stuff because we're right on top of him. Thank you guys very much for watching, and a quick thank you to Spooky and Stein for once again being awesome in every single way. This has been a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll catch you next time.